It's Mark and Pete.
Hello and welcome to the festive, colourful conversations with Mark and Pete. This is the show dedicated to religion, politics and business. On this week's show, we're having a wild Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, today, folks, with all of our festive friends here in the production studio, we're having a great party. And with me today is Clergyman Pete. And we will debate what it's like to have a wild Christmas, but more importantly, what is the meaning of Christmas?
Yeah.
Is it about having a good time with your family and your friends? Or is it just about simply goodwill to all men? And what does that really mean? Well, I'm going to turn to my festive friend who's just about holding himself up at this moment in time. So, Pete, how are you coping with Christmas today?
Well, I'm holding myself together, thank you. I think that the technical crew are really getting into the Christmas spirit, so who knows what's going to happen with the show. Oh, when you do the intro there, I was thinking, well, that is what Mark and Pete is about. We've got business, we've got religion, we've got politics. And all those three are tied up rather nicely with a pretty bow at Christmas, aren't they? I mean, Christmas features all those things. So what's, talking about the meaning of Christmas? Well, Christmas was a big political event, and that you have someone, a little baby about to be born, being announced as the new king. You've got you've got the religious aspect, of course, because you have prophecies in the Holy Scriptures pointing towards Jesus' birth, Jesus' arrival on the scene. So you've got political, you've got religious, and you've got him being given by the wise men some pretty expensive gifts. So we've got some a bit of retail therapy going on for the Son of God. So, we've got all those things happening all in one go. And not only that, I had the opportunity to probably offend every single aspect, every single part of our community of listeners there, the religious, the political and the businessmen. So Merry Christmas to you all.
Well,
I hope you're still listening.
You mentioned about a gift. Well, actually, this show does have something very important, because we've actually got a gift. And what we're going to do is we're going to unwrap each layer as we pass it. So Pete, you've just unwrapped one layer, but you're going to pass me the parcel. So I'm just going to start unwrapping it.
You are.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the next layer, and well, what a surprise! It's going to be a poem.
Oh.
Yes, once again, yes, it's a festive poem, and this one, surprisingly, is called A Wild Christmas.
Yeah.
Dear Santa, oh boy, when I was a little boy, I craved for a brand new toy. You gave me a lovely parcel with paper in a crimp, which opened up with a crazy chimp. How annoying, so destroying and toying. Oh glad, when I was a young lad, I wrote for a touchscreen pad. You gave me a lovely box with lots of ribbons, which opened up with leaping gibbons. How wild, beguiled, poor child. Oh man, when I was a man, I wished for a gleaming new white van. You gave me a lovely container with bright balloons, which opened up with raging baboons. How sad, so bad, too mad. Oh dear, when I was much older, I really got the true cold shoulder. You gave me a lovely sack that was plain vanilla, which opened up with a hungry gorilla. How brash, so rash, teeth gnash. Santa, I now realize your gift was dealing with surprises, that through the years they come in all disguises. Ho, ho, ha, ha, I now much wiser and more chunky. I'll continue my life as a cheeky monkey. Yours truly, Gone Bananas. The present's over to you, sir.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay, so... brief description of Christmas. Okay, brief description of Christmas. Right, well, what do I know about Christmas? Well, it's been around a long time. I mean, we all know Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Christ. It wasn't really celebrated straight away as like a big festival. I'm sure it was celebrated, but it wasn't really celebrated as a big festival. The first time it was really celebrated as a festival, and on the 25th of December was in the 4th century, and at that time they decided to put it there. I guess people think because in December it was a mid-winter festival, and so it was a good time to put it there. Before that point, you see, there was an emphasis really on the life and teaching of Christ, not simply so much emphasis on his birth. This celebration of his birth grew up with time. Obviously, we don't know much about his early life, but we do know some little facts about his birth. One of the most famous being, of course, that he was born and laid in a manger. Yes. And it was years and years later. So we took fast forward to the 13th century. The famous St. Francis of Assisi was visiting the small town of Greccio, and he went there to worship in the chapel. It was too small, and it was going to celebrate midnight mass. So they went out onto a rock near the town square where he set up an altar. But because it was out in the open, he decided to use the place to worship in a different way, and set up a manger and had people bring an ox and an ass and people to play the different parts. And it seems to be that he was the first to do that. And so you had a gradual development of Christmas as we know it today, with the idea of the manger and the shepherds, and then the wise men put there at the same time, and even though they weren't in the original Bible story. But it was a way of celebrating the story, and St. Francis was known for his getting himself into the situation. In fact, on this first time, his biographer says that he was bathed in tears. He was, tears of happiness and joy as he sort of imagined himself into the scene. And that idea of imagining yourself into the scene is behind all these, doing the 9 lessons of carols, reading your way through the story of Christmas and immersing yourself in it, having figures, of the nativity scene, having children playing all the different parts, imagining themselves into it. And so that I guess, is really the heart of the Christmas that we know today, at least the Christian side of it, as you were sort of hinting at earlier. Obviously, there's a lot of other stuff that's grown up around it, but that's mainly around the idea of celebrating and giving each other presents, which is part of Christmas, of course.
Well, indeed.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so I guess, do you want it? Here you are. Is the present back?
Yeah, okay, so it's the next layer of our present.
You've got to rip the side there.
Take off the next wrapper. Yeah. Well, this is a little bit about business, because it's quite true to say that Christmas is a very important time for business, particularly in retail. And whilst I know that some people find it a little bit annoying when they wander down the high street in October that Christmas starts too early. Well, maybe for some, but you've got to also look at it on the other side, that if you think over the years how people have portrayed Christmas, it's become something that is extremely commercial. So whether we look at something like, say, for example, Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol, which sort of started in, I think published in 1843, when this was the old miser Scrooge who was taught the meaning of Christmas by 3 ghostly apparitions who visited him to talk about the past and the present and the future. But of course, as we've seen that people have produced many books and many films around this theme, but of course, other people have exploited it in other ways, whether it's about Santa Claus or whether it's about elves and so on. Now, I don't know whether this is now getting a bit out of hand. I mean, before we sort of move on and pass on this present, before we go into the next layer, what's your thought about Christmas starting too early?
Well, I've changed my view on this. You see, I used to get irritated by it. In my house as I was growing up, we would put up the Christmas decorations on Christmas Eve, and we would celebrate Christmas for 12 days and then take them down again. And I noticed that other people didn't do this, but we didn't change our ways. That was the way we celebrated Christmas. When I left the parental abode, I found that it was growing more and more that Christmas was happening before Christmas. By the time we got to Christmas, you were fed up with it. But now I've changed my mind in that it's just I realise it's really just a different way of celebrating Christmas. In that Advent, the lead up to Christmas, was a time of fasting, and then you had the feast at Christmas itself. What we've done is moved the feast earlier, so it's longer and longer. I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. It's just that
Yes.
Christmas has started earlier, so it's changed. But I don't think that it is actually a bad thing to start earlier, as long as we don't get fed up with it.
Well, quite. Oh, go on. Let me just do the next layer, please. Oh, go on.
No. All right. Okay. Have it back. Go on.
Oh, thank you. And by the way, the production scene seems to be eating all of the mince pies. I haven't had one.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Yeah. Can you have one?
Thank
No,
you.
not a half-eaten one.
No.
Sorry.
No,
You can't get the stuff
I'll
these
let you
days.
finish it. Oh, look. And guess what? The next layer. It's a poem. Another poem for us.
I knew I should have opened that one.
Well, this is my turn. Now, listen. Now, the thing here is it's quite interesting that this is quite apt, this poem, because, when we're all sort of getting close to Christmas and we're all building up that high expectations, I often wonder, whether it was as a child or even as an adult, what actually happens, when you leave your decorated room and you leave the Christmas tree in the corner all lonely. I mean, what does the Christmas tree think? Well, I'll tell you. Here's a little poem which is called Through Sprigs of Joy. Oh, woe, oh, woe is me, a lonely little Christmas tree. I bear great gifts of season's joy and pop my lights just to annoy. Oh, I do foresee my party pines running wild and free, embedded in the nice clean floor, and tingle-tangle the fine decor. Oh me, oh me, oh meow at night, uproot myself with great delight. I dance around the festoon room, and flash my bulbs to lift the gloom. Oh yay, oh time to dine, gorging mince pies and old mulled wine. I climb the cupboards for a silly caper and rearrange all the wrapping paper. Oh well, oh merry hell, let's create more havoc for folk to dwell. I'll hide baby Jesus who became our martyr, replaced in the crib with a chipolata. Oh ho, oh falling snow, outside to play I jolly well go, building snowmen with funny noses and sculpting them in silly poses. Oh dear, oh dearie me, a dear reindeer called, it's reindeer stuck in a tree. He shines, looking very smug. Then appears put out as I pull the plug. Oh wish, oh I wish I knew the point of all this bawdy ballyhoo. I watch the season through sprigs of joy. For the magic moments I'm the real McCoy. Okay, oh what about you? That depends if you were good and true. So what is this year's festive mystery? Well, make a wish, then wait and see. So, it's all about making a wish. So I'm going to pass it over to you.
Oh,
come on, make a wish out, open up the present. Have we got to the actual gift yet?
No, we're not quite at the gift. We've got a little bit here about the deeper meaning of Christmas. Okay, Now you see, when you talk about the real meaning of Christmas, of course, we're going to be talking about the original meaning, and that meaning, of course, is its deepest meaning, and it continues that Christmas is about Christ, and it's about Jesus's birth in Bethlehem, and his, the Bible passages are quite well known. They're read out at Christmas in services up and down the land each year about how Mary and Joseph had to go from their own town to Bethlehem because a census had been ordered. They couldn't find a room, and so they had to go and stay in a stable where Jesus was born, and he was laid in a manger. But just staying with this this historical rethinking of what happened at that time, just imagine what it was like in that time. It was quite common to give birth standing up. and you maybe have a rope or something to hold on to stop you from falling, or you were held up by, in this case, I guess Joseph would have been on hand to help, but maybe there were other people there, we're not told. But now the reason for this is, of course, it actually allows you to be in a good position to squeeze out a baby. Now, I say that never having given birth, the female listeners will realise. But this giving birth could have actually been into the manger, standing above it or whatever. But when Jesus shot into the world like that, he came as the new king. And we know, that looking at the predictions of what would happen, the king of the time was so jealous he tried to kill him. So when we look at the true meaning of Jesus of Christmas, we are looking at the birth of a king, someone who claims to be in charge. And so that changes, that, of course, if it's true that he's in charge, that he is the new king, that changes everything. So the true meaning of Christmas is that there's a new king and his name is Jesus. And we're celebrating someone who is in charge and has a say, not just in our lives, but in the way that everything is run.
Oh, well, there we go.
Hang on,
So
I think
what
we've
about
got
that final.
No, I think
wrapping and revealing.
that's what I'm saying. I think we've got it now. So, oh no, I don't think this bit is for us.
Oh,
I think this bit is for the listeners because we're talking about the true meaning of Christmas. The meaning of Christmas means you applying it, you having a Christmas in your life, which doesn't mean you don't need to be a Christian to apply those truths about Christmas. Jesus came to earth as a gift from God. Jesus came to earth to show the good way to live. Well, you can celebrate being good to people. You can try being good to people. Make it a special time when you spend time with family. You can. Well, actually, I think our listeners should unwrap it for themselves. Why don't you hand it over to them?
well, there you go. Well, as our production team is crinkling and crackling away in the background, happy Christmas to one and all. And we thank you, listeners, for listening to the Mark and Pete Show. So join us again next year for more colourful conversations with Mark and Pete.